about my parents? Well, I had wonderful parents. A very wonderful mother and a very wonderful father. My mother was a very brilliant woman. She grew up, went to 3 colleges, you know that? Not because, and she began to get heart rumors, breathless, so she had to get out, transferred to the Oberlin, which was on a flat campus. And then she came down with Bright's disease and there were all kinds of things. And finally she went out to Colorado and was sick there, had to shave off her hair, tuberculosis, name it. When mother got it, she was often entered the 2nd stage of death. And finally her father said in Dennis, out there in Colorado, go to Colorado College and just squeak through, just squeak through. When she got the first, her grades came out, A+, 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 A+. She kept that record all the way through and ended up with Phi Beta Kappa. Took her 8 years. I mean, what a mother. And she was a very independent person. Taught me to stand on my own feet, when she used to go home with the class would all go, she'd find out what train they would take. She'd take a separate one so she could be set by herself. She stood on her own feet, but she got the Phi Beta Kappa not from intellectual ability, but social ability too. It wasn't just a mad bookworm, so she was a very socialistic for social people. And I guess I had that in my blood. This is the story. My mother married my father. It was quite a story anyway. And I think he was 44 at the time, mother 39, and she missed a baby girl, miscarried. Then she became pregnant again and said, I want twin boys. But no twin boys? Not on either side of my family, back in the cave, man, I've checked it. All right, then they said, okay, go in and have your child. All the doctors, all the nurses, except one student nurse, said, I think you're going to have twins. She was small, but heavy and solid. So she goes in, and my brother's born. Okay, woo, wait a minute. There's something else. I was the one. I had to wait. They kept me, how long? 15 minutes. I was insulted. And I can remember that day, I just as clear as I'm talking to you. I remember I came out, I said, you kept me 15 minutes to get me some diapers and let me out of this place. And mother went down to her bed laughing. A boy on one side, a boy on the other side. Her dream came true. So I was wanted, but not expected. And that's a great blessing, I never knew I never knew a day that I wasn't wanted. Lovely parents, wonderful. My father, when he learned that his wife had twin boys, he ran down to the store, give me another pair of diapers, another this and that. I got twins. And then he let me have the wonderful thing. The backyard was our paradise. And we built houses and tree houses. It was a wreck. No flowers, nothing, but it was our paradise. And he'd bring back shingles and nails and hammers and saws. Woo! I remember it wasn't a beautiful yard, but it was our paradise. And one day we had 2 neighbors. One neighbor didn't like kids, he didn't have kids, and she would spend most of the time behind her lace curtain watching us. And if the ball went in her backyard, woo! But I had to get in there. You know what she did? She planted a pricker hedge to keep her off her grass. And many a time I got pricked when I didn't go to the grass, all right. The other neighbor, what a difference, Mrs. Cherry. She had a lovely lawn, lovely. And one time my father was standing at the gate and Mrs. Cherry was out there. She said, oh, Mrs. Cherry, you got a beautiful yard. Look at those flowers. Look at ours. She said, never mind, Mr. Merriam. One day, your flowers now are running around. One day you'll have flowers. And sure, it came up. I grew up and there were flowers. But then, those early days in my paradise, it was a mess, but we loved it. That's the kind of a father I had. And then I had a father, he was a big politician. He was 8 years city councilman of Schenectady. That's where I grew up. And he was 8 years of the Assembly, New York Assembly. Elected every year. They said they couldn't defeat my father. He was an insurance man. It took his father's business and carried it on, and now he's given to his son, and then 4th generation, the oldest business in Schenectady. Anyway, Dad was there, and I used to